Let's look at the top 3 AI tools and ask them the exact same question. You'll see the difference right away. Then you can choose based on your style.
In the center here, you'll see the Ask Anything box. This is where I would type in my request or my instruction. Here's a plus sign. This is where I can upload files, connect to a Google Drive, create an image, and do some extra things. There's a way for me to switch the mode. And then over here, there's a way where if I type something in like, hi, and I press this, this submits my text. Remember these elements. Gemini looks very similar. In the center, you'll see Ask Gemini 3. This is the same as the Ask Anything box. I type in my question or command right there. Here's the plus. Once again, you can upload files, add from Google Drive, grab things from photos, or work with Notebook LM. Notebook LM is going to be beyond the scope of this video, but it's an interesting tool, and we'll cover it later on. Additionally, there's some of the similar tools that you saw in ChatGPT, like deep research and creating images. Here you can change the thinking mode, and then this is the button you press to submit your text. Claude, same kind of thing. Here's the center box. I can type whatever I like. Here's the plus, add photos, pictures, some different configuration options. It also has a way for you to change the mode here. Here's a way to change the model, and this is how you submit the text. So regardless of which of the 3 you use, you'll type what you want in the center here, and then you'll press the button and it'll go ahead and begin taking action. So let's talk about ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a general helper. It's really good at explaining, rewriting stuff, brainstorming. It's very general purpose. It has very wide capabilities and is probably the easiest for beginners. It's very widely used. You can find lots of examples online, and consider ChatGPT a good all-around tool and something you can use to help you with your everyday life. It has mobile apps. It has ability to talk to it on the web with your voice, and a way also in the mobile app to either take voice input or talk to it with your voice. Gemini is a Google tool. So if you're part of the Google ecosystem, like you have a Gmail and a Google Drive or Google Pictures, you're going to find that this integrates very well with what you're already doing, and you probably have access to a very nicely filled out usage tier without paying extra money. Gemini has caught up tremendously to ChatGPT, and in many cases, such as image generation, it's actually superior. I find that Gemini gives me faster responses. They're not necessarily better, they're just different. So Gemini is tightly connected with the Google tools. It's often really good with search style questions because remember, it's owned by the company that has the best search engine and the best search engine data on the planet. It'll feel familiar if you use Gmail or Google Docs, and it sometimes provides more factual answers, but this is really hard to say. It's difficult. We'll do some examples in a moment and you can kind of see the difference. Now let's talk about Claude. In many cases, the answers I get from Claude are better than ChatGPT and Gemini, but it does seem to be limited in some other ways. For example, it's often very careful with its wording and safety. Sometimes it feels more like an editor than an assistant, and it gives longer explanations. It also, from time to time, if you ask it to make something, will make that thing in a visual way far superior to what the others do. We'll do some examples now, and you can kind of see how each one of them respond. And we'll start with ChatGPT. We're going to ask it a very, very basic question. The prompt is going to be, explain what artificial intelligence is in plain English. Assume I am new to this and a little cautious. Keep it to one short paragraph. And I'll press the button. And you can see pretty quickly I get a response. And if we read this response, it's going to be fine. It also provides a way for me here to copy out the response or grade it as good or bad. I can share this chat with someone else in case they want to participate. I can ask it to regenerate it, or I can branch it or even have this read aloud to me. Sometimes having it read aloud can be a good thing if you really don't want to do the reading yourself, or you're not in a convenient place for it, or you can't find your glasses. Now, let's run the same prompt in Gemini. Once again, I get a pretty instantaneous response. And here it's identifying itself as an advanced calculator, excelling at what comes next. Now here it's also put in a few references. So if I click this, I'll be taken to this website where it's claiming it gathered this information. And it's also offering these sources down here. Pressing this, it kind of lists where it got the information from, which can be super helpful if you really want to audit the kind of information or answers that you're getting. Remember, AI has been trained on lots and lots and lots of data, and in doing so, it's often been trained on bad data. So for anything of consequence, it can be really helpful to know what the source is of this. Once again, you can grade the chat good or bad. You can have it redo it, you can copy it, or there's just another handful of things you can do. You'll notice that the features of Gemini and the features of ChatGPT are pretty close. Now let's try Claude. And the answer here is very similar. It's claiming it's not thinking, but it's spotting patterns or using pattern matching. And so you can see from a very basic standpoint, we've gotten our answer. It's in one paragraph and it's good enough. And once again, the same tools, copy, good or bad, have it redo it. If you're to look at the actual text here, ChatGPT's language is fairly simple. These are not big words. These are not big ideas. If you look at Gemini's, it seems to be a little bit more relatable. Same kind of thing though. It's not using very complex language. Claude, just looking at the size of the words, is using bigger words. This may appeal to you or even not appeal to you. Regardless, if what you want is the answer to your question, each one of these has done an adequate job. If you learned something today, leave a comment below and tell us what it was. And share this video with someone else who would like it. And if you haven't yet joined our free Facebook group, How Seniors Learn AI, go ahead and join. The link is in the description below. The group is for all of us, regardless of ability or skill level, and it's where we share all of our free information, like tips and tricks, tools, how-tos, and interviews. We can all learn together. Thanks for watching. See you soon.